In this course module, we focus on understanding CVE 2024-40711 and how it impacts Veeam Backup and Replication. We'll explore the specifics of this vulnerability, the potential exploitation steps, and strategies for mitigation. This module is designed to equip you with the necessary knowledge to protect your systems effectively. As we progress, you'll gain a clearer picture of the challenges presented by CVE 2024-40711 and how to address them within your infrastructure. In this slide, we'll discuss the CVE 2024-40711 vulnerability. This vulnerability is categorized as a deserialization flaw, which could enable unauthenticated remote code execution, a serious issue in software security. The vulnerability holds a CVSS score of 9.8, indicating a critical level of severity and potential impact. Both HackerOne and NIST have acknowledged and documented this vulnerability, emphasizing its significance and the urgency in addressing it. Understanding the nature and implications of such vulnerabilities is essential for securing systems effectively. On this slide, we're focusing on the affected products by the vulnerability CVE 2024-40711. The vulnerability impacts versions 12.1.2.172 and earlier of Veeam Backup and Replication. The potential impact of this vulnerability includes unauthenticated remote code execution, which could lead to full system control by an attacker. This severity underscores the importance of understanding these vulnerabilities and the threats they impose on system security. Effective management of these vulnerabilities is essential to protect against exploitation. In this slide, we're addressing the remediation steps for the vulnerability identified as CVE 2024-40711. To protect your systems from potential threats such as unauthenticated remote code execution, it is recommended to upgrade to Veeam Backup Replication version 12.2.0.334. This update is available as specified in the Veeam Security Bulletin. It's important to apply this patch immediately, preferably before the next scheduled maintenance window, to ensure your environment is secured against this vulnerability. Implementing this solution is a necessary step to safeguard your data and infrastructure from unauthorized access. On this slide, we're examining the exploitation of CVE 2024-40711, a vulnerability that can be leveraged through specific attack methods. This exploit utilizes the deserialization of system.runtime.remoting.objref, a process that allows for the execution of unauthorized actions when paired with network access and a crafted payload. Such attacks have manifested in real-world scenarios, often linked to ransomware threats like Fog and Akira. These scenarios highlight the importance of understanding both the technical mechanics of the exploit and its potential malicious applications. In this slide, we focus on understanding the exploit process related to our previous discussion. For successful execution, certain attack requirements must be met. An accessible system running a vulnerable version of Veeam is essential, as is the ability to craft SOAP payloads tailored for this context. On implementation, the process involves deserialization using the cproxy binary formatter, a method that interacts with blacklisted gadgets to exploit the vulnerability effectively. Leveraging these components can facilitate unauthorized actions, posing significant security risks if preventive measures are not taken. In this demonstration of the exploit, we will see a practical scenario of remote code execution via the backup mount service, which listens on port 6170. To achieve this, we'll utilize a proof of concept and scripts that leverage the WISO serial tool and the SOAP formatter. These tools allow us to craft payloads that can exploit the Veeam vulnerability discussed earlier. The demonstration will showcase how the exploitation process flows from identifying the vulnerable system to executing arbitrary code, while highlighting the potential security implications associated with the deserialization vulnerabilities. This practical insight is intended to reinforce the importance of understanding and mitigating these types of threats in a timely manner. In this section, we will cover some key concepts and essential tools related to deserialization techniques, particularly focusing on how they can be exploited for remote code execution. An example of this exploitation is the use of a blacklisted gadget in the process message method. By manipulating SOAP payloads, attackers can achieve remote code execution, presenting a significant security risk. To mitigate these risks, it's imperative to adhere to security best practices. Regular updates and diligent patch management are fundamental in safeguarding systems against such vulnerabilities. In conclusion, this course has highlighted the critical vulnerability present in Veeam Backup and Replication software. It is imperative to apply the available patches immediately to mitigate potential security risks. A thorough understanding of exploit methods is essential for strengthening your cybersecurity defenses. As we wrap up, remember that continually monitoring and enhancing your security posture is of utmost importance to protect against future vulnerabilities and threats. On this slide, we are looking at references for further reading to deepen your understanding of the topics we've covered. The Veeam Security Bulletin is a valuable resource for getting direct information about vulnerabilities and patches. The GitHub repository is another excellent source, likely offering code samples or tools related to these security issues. Lastly, the detailed technical analysis from SonicWall will provide an in-depth perspective on how these exploits work and what can be done to mitigate them. Exploring these resources will enhance your knowledge and ability to bolster your cybersecurity measures.